Now in this lecture, we're actually gonna see how we can install Git on Windows, right? So what I'm gonna do, I'll go to Google and I'll type download Git, right? So you can go through any of these links. This is one of the link, and this is one of the link. If you go to this link, you're gonna see on whatever machine that you are, it will gonna show you that download for Windows. If you're on Mac, it will gonna show you download for Mac. So these are different OS available: Mac, Windows, Mac. With Mac it's OS X, then Linux, Solaris, right? So right now I'm on Windows, so I'll go for the option Windows, and in a couple of seconds it will do the download, start the download. I've already downloaded this version, so I'm not going to download it again, right? Once it is downloaded, so it will gonna come like this. I have stored, I have kept, recently downloaded it only. So there's so many files over here, and Git, let's search for it. So this is how it will gonna come like, right? So the next thing that you need to do, just double click on it, and the installation process is very easy as you're installing any other software. Just double click on it and click on run. I've already installed it on my machine, but I'll still show you the installation process. So you're gonna see the setup wizard. Just click on next, next, right, and click on again next. So here you can choose use Git from Git bash only, or use Git from the command prompt, right? And this is again another optional thing. So I would prefer using Git from Git bash. Git bash is one of the command line tool that is being provided by Git itself, right? So this is the most recommended, so I'll keep it as it is and say next, then next, right? And it will prepare the installation, right? And once it is installed, since I've already installed it, so I'm not going to proceed with further steps, right? Rest you can do next, 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 and in a couple of seconds the Git will be installed on the machine. So I'm like clicking on cancel right now. So once it is installed, it will be installed in your programs, and you're gonna see a folder Git. And this you're gonna get two things. One is Git bash, and the other one is Git GUI. Right, bash is the command line interface where you'll be firing all the Git commands, and GUI is the text-based application, right? That you might be using it or you might not be using it, right? So we'll talk about Git bash more in this session. So let's go back over here, and so this is a link through which you can download and install the Git, right? And during the installation, make sure that you select Git bash only, right? Because once you select Git bash, it will not modify your system path variables, right? You need not to worry about that. So once it is installed, it will gonna give you the command line version as well as the GUI version of Git, right? Now in order to check the setting of the Git, you need to run this following command: git config --list. So what I'm gonna do, I'll gonna run the Git bash from here. See, this is a command line interface, and here I'm gonna write git config --list, and this will gonna show me this message. If you see this message, then it means that your Git is successfully installed on your machine, right? So now with Maven, you might have seen that when we are firing Maven commands, we generally write mvn eclipse or mvn archetype generate, right? With every command we need to prefix this mvn word, right? Same way in case of git, with every command we need to prefix this git, right? So git bash is again open source, right? Like this is available free of cost. There is no license for this git. But if you are actually going for, there are premium licensing as well available. If you are actually looking for, let's say, if you have a huge project and number of testers and developers are associated with that project, then they offer the premium license as well. But for small projects, even if for your practice, you would need not to purchase any license, right? So let's take a look at the other thing, that is creating a Git repository. So Git repository is nothing; it's just a collection of files and their history, right? So we'll be creating a Git repository, and there are two ways through which a Git repository can be created. So we can create a Git repository in an existing project, or we can create a clone of the entire Git repository from the remote server. So the second point we're gonna take a look at later on, right? First, we're gonna focus on the first point, that how we can create a Git repository in an existing project. So after creating the Git repository, it will actually start tracking the project that we're gonna implement. Each and every file will be tracked inside that Git repository. So Git is not only related to Java or Selenium, or to any specific language like Ruby, Python. You can write your code in any language. It will only gonna maintain your files, right? I have not yet opened up Eclipse. I have not yet written even a single line of code. Neither I'll be writing it right now, right? I'll be just writing some text, and I'll show you how you can manage those text file using the Git repository. So before going any further, let's first understand how Git stores the data, right? So Git stores the data in the terms of snapshot. Now, what is this snapshot? You might have heard about revision, right? If you have ever worked on any version control system like SVN generally stores the data, and it maintains the revision history of the data that's been checked into that centralized repository, right? So here in case of Git, we're gonna use the term snapshot, right? The snapshot is used to replace the word revision, generally used with other version control system, right? So whenever we commit in the Git, right? So commit means we are actually committing the files to the local repository that is on our machine. If we commit any file to the centralized repository, to the centralized Git server, that is GitHub, then that will not call as commit. That is actually we are pushing the data to that GitHub server, right? So committing, if we are talking about committing is actually we are committing to the local repository that is created on our local machine. So whenever we commit in the Git, it stores the data in terms of set of snapshots, right? So it can be imagined as snapshots of each file is taken and stored in the local Git repository. So Git will only gonna copy the files in which the changes are being done, right? So if for the very first time when there are let's say we are like checking in the new code, then the entire stuff, the entire project will be committed, right? But next time, let's say in the initially when we have committed the code, there were 1,000 files that we have committed, right? Next time, if we again commit the code, so it will not gonna commit that 1,000 lines of code, like that 1,000 files, right? It will only gonna commit the files in which the changes are actually done, right? Otherwise, I mean, it will keep on unnecessarily committing those files in which we have not done any changes. So this is of no use, right? So it will only gonna commit the file in which the changes are being made. Now let's understand how this entire process will gonna work. Now in order to do that, I will be creating a sample project. Let's say I've given the project name as my specialty, right? So in this uh, like uh, we're gonna create a tea, and then we're gonna prepare a tea, right? So in tea we have let's say this is a project and we have three different folders over here. So one is our ingredient, then the second one is ingredients cost, and the third one is the recipe. And under these folders there are different files, there are different coding files, right? So right now I'm not writing any code, I'm not these will be the plain text files, and I'll be writing some statements into these text files, right? I'm not going to write any Java code over here, right? And let's see how Git will gonna recognize all these things. So we first gonna understand the concept of Git and GitHub, and then we're gonna integrate Selenium or Java code with this, right? So let's see. I'll go back to the folder that I have created, that is version control, and I'll remove these folders from here, right? So I'm gonna create a new project. This is, let's say, my specialty, right? Inside this I'm gonna create three more folders, that is ingredients, and then ingredients costs, and the third one is recipe. Should be new recipe. All right. Okay. Bear me for the spelling. Recipe. All right. Okay. So in ingredients. Okay. Just one second. I'm very bad with the spellings. So in ingredients, I'm gonna what all ingredients that we have in preparing a tea. So ingredients should be we need to put some tea. We need to put some let's say water. We need to add some sugar, right? So these are the three files that I'll be keeping over here. Now inside the sugar.txt file, I'll say sugar quantity is, let's say, 2 teaspoon, right? And in tea, tea quantity should be 1 teaspoon, and water quantity should be, let's say, 30 ml, right? So now same files I'll gonna copy it inside the ingredient cost, so I can rename them to sugar cost, tea cost, water cost, right? Inside sugar cost, I'll say right 50 cents, right? Tea cost, let's say 80 cents. Tea cost, right? And water cost let's say water is free, right? Now I'll go over here in the recipe. I'll add a new text file that is recipe, and I'll add a recipe to prepare a tea. So let's say first boil the water, then add tea, then add some sugar, and then serve the tea. Right, so these are 4 steps in which we can prepare the tea. Now, this is a very small project that we have created so far, right? Now, I have kept everything inside a text format so that you should be able to know that we can use any language, be it Ruby, Python, C Sharp, PHP, Java, any language we can use with Git and GitHub, right? So we have 3 folders, 3 packages over here, and inside this 3 packages, three, and one, we have 7 files over here, right? So basically, in this project, we have one single project, 3 different packages, and 7 total files over here. And what I want to do now, I actually want to track this project through Git,